This video is going to look at the Sales by Banner chain report that's found within the Sales Team Reports drop-down menu option. So when you click on Sales by Banner and Chain, you're going to get a report that now is going to allow you to report by various levels within banners and chains, as well as having access to all of the chains within the region, depending on how the data is coming through. So in this example, we're going to look at the province of Alberta. So you'll notice that you'll be able to select your column selections, and you can report market sales for multiple rolling time periods, as well as your company's performance for both rolling time periods as well as period sales for both last year and this year. So once you've made your selection, you can simply place a check mark for the time period that you want to see, or click on the existing check mark to remove it. This way you can further customize your report for the time periods and the type of sales that you would like to see. Now, the grouping becomes important in this report because now we can actually look at the report by banner and chain. So if we refresh our options, you'll notice now that our report, which is a spirits level report, will now be grouped according to the different banners and chains that we have within our territories. Now, when you're looking at the banner and chain reporting, you'll notice that you can also use your filtering options to narrow down the report here as well. Now, once you've made a selection for your chain and group, you'll have account level specifics that you can also narrow down. So once you've selected your one location for chain and group, you'll notice that now your accounts are going to be dependent on your chain and group selection here. So the report itself is going to show according to your filter selections that you've made above. Now for banner and chain reports, you'll notice that we have filtering for our column headers as well as the magnifying glass. Now the filtering option will allow us to make selections according to how we would like the information displayed. So if you would like to make a few filter options here, click on OK, and now what we have here is a summary of 3 specific banners that we can look at, and we know that we're reporting on spirits. So we have our total market sales for that location for both last year and this year, the variance, and then we also have our company sales so we can see how we're performing relative to the market. Now, if we want to get back all of our information, simply select all, and now we can hover back. If there is a specific banner and chain that we're interested in, so let's say, for example, we're going to type in a keyword of LSNA. Here we can see all of the banners that are associated now with LSNA as our keyword search. So in ezfocus, we have the banners coming through the data with these specific names. However, there are many agents that group these specific banners under LSNA, so that's why you see them with the parentheses here. So that's very important to note that when you want to group specific banners together, you have the option to group either by the name or knowing that the parentheses here will give us an alternative way of grouping the banners and chains. So you can just simply remove, and then you will have now access to the report as it was shown before. So to narrow down again, you can select your group from the drop down. So if I were to put in Costco as an example, I can now make the Costco selection, refresh my report, and now you will see that the results in the grid are going to be for Costco only. So now that we know we're looking at Costco only sales, I can change my banner and grouping to change now to our categories. So now this becomes a Costco specific report that is now grouping the sales according to my categories. So this is the flexibility in the sales by banner and chain reporting, is that you can either filter for your specific chains and groups, or you can group according to your banners and chains. So you do have that flexibility of how you would like to show the report. You just have to keep in mind what are your filters that you're selecting for, and then how did you want to group the data. So you'll notice within this report, you have the ability to export your data into Excel. So if you do want to manipulate outside of the system, rearrange the data, or use to create your own pivots, you can export in Excel. Now you'll notice here we have a section that allows us to drag a column header here, and we can group. So in this case, let's say we want to drag our categories description. You'll see that the grid below has now reformatted according to our categories. So here's another instance where we can now change the report by simply selecting which specific categories we would like to see. So again, your filtering options at the top will describe what account we're currently selecting or what chain, and below will allow us to manipulate the categories for that given chain. So this way it gives us a quick snapshot of how Brandy's performing or how Gin is performing against the Costco portfolio. If you wanted to, again, remove your selections, select all, and to bring that back into the grid, simply drag and drop. So a lot of customization options available to you in the sales by banner and chain report.